what they're. All right, I'm sorry. All right, I would like to call the meeting of the Board of Education of St. Mary's County to order for today, May 26, 2015. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
I move we enter into executive session for the purpose of personnel, collective bargaining or legal, property acquisition issues, and student issues under Maryland Local Government Code Article Section 9-512A 1, 2, 6, and 10.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Give me to do. All right, ready?
We are spot on.
Sitting here watching the clock. Good evening. I'd like to reconvene the open meeting portion of the St. Mary's County Board of Education for Tuesday, May 26th, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first on the agenda, I would like a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I move to approve the agenda as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, board reports. Ms. Sarita Lee. you're up
Good
first.
evening, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about SMASC. I'm going to be giving an update about St. Mary's Association of Student Councils. So in the planning for next year that our executive board has been working on, we're looking to amend the SMASC Constitution to incorporate the use of electronic elections. So this would be in the event of cancellation of General Assemblies. So the electronic elections would be a backup to the normal in-person elections. And this would include a recorded introduction to meet the candidate and then a recorded speech, which viewers, members of SMASC could view. And this is important, and I think this will be a good addition to SMASC because the video clips can also be posted online and used on a website or social media. And I think that'll be a great way to increase that student awareness and involvement in their community with student council, student government in their own schools, both connecting middle school and high school students as well. So this planning for next year is on a roll, and I'm excited. Thank you.
Mrs. Weaver.
Yesterday, I attended a memorial service at our Memorial Day ceremony at American Legion Post 255, which is in Ridge. And among there being the captain from the base and the county commissioners and some other people like Delegate Steve Waugh, we also had our own Great Mills High School. Color Guard was there from the junior ROTC. They did a wonderful job representing the school, but also it was a wonderful ceremony for them to be part of and being out in the community. And also a Great Mills High School student also played taps at the end, which was very moving. But I'm just really excited to see that the students from the school are participating out in the community and on a day that's so important. So, that's it.
All right, I did a couple things over the past couple weeks. One was I attended the class of 2015, the National Academy of Finance, the completion ceremony at Chapter High School. 24 students completed the program this year. It was a fabulous event. Hats off to all of the staff here at Central Office and also at Chopticon that make that academy work, as well as all of the community volunteers within the Professional Advisory Council that guide them. Everything from dressing for an interview to interviewing themselves, you know, one-on-one. I think it's a great program. So that being in mind, this is graduation week. I would just like to take a moment, since my kids are still in elementary school, I have a couple more years. I've not been through the crush of graduation that is coming up, so I would like to congratulate everyone that is graduating. I know for some it was a breeze, for some it was a long, hard road. And I just ask that, you know, we don't lose sight of that during this week. It's a big accomplishment for many, many people, and they did not get there on their own. It was the staff, the students, the teachers, the administrators, everyone that helped them do that. And that should be the focus as those students walk across the stage in the next few days. So, thank you.
Wonderful. I attended St. Peter Claver Catholic Church Educator Appreciation Day, and it started in 1998 in St. Indigo's in honor of Mary Veronica Carroll Rothwell, who was one of our teachers who suddenly passed away. And she was an active member of the church, and she was well respected in the community, and she worked at Green Holly Elementary School at the time of her passing. So the church decided to do something. So in her honor, each year they choose another master teacher to get the Mary Veronica Carroll Rothwell Educator of the Year Award. And the winner was Miss Sherry Fenwick. Miss Sherry Fenwick, it was reported, has spent over 35 years as a music teacher, chorus and band, with the St. Mary's County Public School. And she began teaching in 1979 at Margaret Brent. She graduated from St. Mary's College, and her last 29 years have been spent at Esperanza Middle School. She was known for her outstanding musical performances that she led in the community. Mrs. Fenwick was the director of various choirs at Zion United Methodist Church, St. Nicholas, and First Missionary Baptist Church. Sherry was also the first director of the very first children's choir at St. Peter Claver Church. St. Peter Claver also instituted another award about 7 years ago, and that was an award to support personnel within the school system after another parishioner, Mr. James Cornelius Fenwick, passed away suddenly. He had retired from Prince George's County Public School System and was an active member at the church at the time of his death. And this year's recipient was Mr. James Cornelius Fenwick. He was the Educational Support Professional of the Year. Oh, no, it was Miss Edith Smith, I'm sorry. She was the winner of the award, and she is a longtime resident of St. Mary's County. And she was reported as being the first St. Mary's County public school system for 40 years. She worked for us for 40 years. Her first year was at Lexington Park Elementary School, followed by 1 year at Park Hall, and with 39 years at Ridge Elementary School. Edith served as a parent educator, serving in a variety of grade levels. The attendees from the educational staff at the public and private schools were called to the front of the church to receive gifts and certificates as a token of appreciation. Afterwards, a delicious lunch was served, and it was an outstanding event. St. Peter Claver Catholic Church is just one of our many partners in the faith-based community, and we depend on them heavily for prayers and support of the school system in all schools in St. Mary's County. Thank you.
I recently attended the commencement ceremony for students at the James A. Forrest Career and Technology Center. The center has 24 programs that span a wide range of interests, and the number of students served there has increased so significantly over the years that the ceremony can no longer be held at the Forrest Center. It had to be moved several years ago to the gymnasium at Leonardtown High School. The students were enthusiastic about the programs that they were involved in, and I'm very pleased that I was able to attend and be a part of their very special celebration. Thank you very much.
And just to on piggyback on that, that was Mr. Egan's first ceremony as the principal of the Tech Center. He did a lovely job. That was really a fantastic ceremony for all involved.
Yes.
I had the pleasure of going to the Agnes Meyer Teacher of the Year award celebration up at the Washington Post. I was joined by Mrs. Rita Weaver, and we were celebrating Mr. Michael Denny. Mr. Michael Denny, who has been a teacher in St. Mary's County Public Schools for 39 years, and many of our current employees perhaps had Mr. Denny in a global class. Ms. Dietz is nodding her head. My son is currently in his class as well this year. The tradition continues. The overall awareness of the world in which kids will grow up and prosper, Mr. Denny is an integral part of understanding what their role is, and it was a great evening. I got to see his two twin daughters and his son. I haven't seen former graduates of Leonardtown High School. I hadn't seen for years. It was really quite a special night. We had a very successful day earlier today. We went over to the county commissioners, and they approved not only our budget, but our categorical disbursement of said budget. So the 2016 budget cycle has concluded, and I'd like to just say thank you to Board of Ed members. Thank you to Ms. Tammy McCourt specifically and the leadership that she's shown in fiscal services, as well as Mr. Clements and all of their tireless work. It has really been an education for Scott Smith. We'll just call it an education for Scott Smith this year. I get to learn a lot every single day, and I certainly learned a lot through this process, and I just thank the county commissioners for their patience in my education and a great cycle.
And mine too.
As we all worked our way through, lots and lots of questions asked and lots of very good answers provided. And then the last is certainly, if you have been listening to the Twitter sphere and the newspaper reports and things like that, Chopticon High School, their varsity baseball team 3A are the state champions for Maryland for 2015. So just a fantastic job. Shout out for Ray Sapp, their head coach, for John Ford and Kenny Hammett, their assistant coaches, and specifically, I could give you a whole play-by-play, but L.J. Newsome, the pitcher, 17 strikeouts in a game of that caliber. That young man has an arm. So just an incredible job. So congratulations to Chopticon High School. And with that, I conclude.
That's great. Okay. All right. Next up, we have several recognitions tonight. Do you want to do your little spiel about people who leave afterward?
What we're going to do this evening is we have a lot of you here to be recognized for your fantastic accomplishments for this year. So first and foremost, thank you very much for coming out and spending some time with us this evening. What we're going to do is we're going to start with Ms. Dietz and for the recognition of fine arts and music. And what we'll do is, as Ms. Dietz calls the group to be recognized, you can go on up, and I'll join you there in a second. We've kind of choreographed this, so I'm going to be joining Ms. Dietz. Ms. Dietz is going to speak a little bit about, and then as we call people, she'll hand the award to me, the certificate, and then I'll hand that in turn to the person receiving. And once we have the group gathered, we will pop out, take a quick photo of the group, and don't worry, you won't hurt our feelings if after your photo has been taken and you have been recognized, oh, look, our photographer's coming out right now. After your picture's been taken, if you wish to leave, that's okay. We won't take it. We won't take it personally. We recognize that there are a lot of people to be recognized because this county is fantastic. You guys are all fantastic, and so we want to get you right back to your houses so you can do all your homework and get ready for the end of the school year. So with that, we'll probably start with Ms. Dietz, and I'll come join you.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, Ms. Bailey and the other members of the Board of Education and Mr. Smith. Thank you for allowing us to honor our students and our teachers tonight with all of their hard work and accomplishments. I'd like to begin by recognizing our all-state musicians. They are musicians who come from about thousands of musicians who audition all across the state of Maryland to be a part of our all-state senior and junior, so high school and middle school, chorus, band, and orchestra. And we had 13 students this year who were accepted into those all-state ensembles. Not all of them could be here tonight, but I do want to recognize those that could be here tonight. It's an awesome accomplishment to be a member of an all-state ensemble. They are competing against students from all walks of life and all caliber of opportunity. So it's a pretty impressive feat, and a lot of these students are repeat members of those all-state groups. So we applaud them continuously for their efforts. So when I call your name, if you can come forward and stay up here, please. Hannah Gross, Chopticon High School, and the All-State Junior Chorus. Matthew Price, All-State Junior Chorus. Raymark Twazin, All-State Junior Chorus. Emily Herring, All-State Senior Women's Chorus. Erin Carpenter, All-State Senior Women's Chorus. And Emma Carpenter, All-State Senior Women's Chorus.
So, this is a group?
This is a group.
Okay, so let's have you push in a little bit together here. Move over just a little. Let's have Ms. Dee come on that side. And I'll stand on this side. And let's have a beautiful picture.
And parents, you don't have to stay in your seats. You can come up and you can come up and take pictures
Now,
too.
our official pictures, we will be putting them out on the webpage, and we'll be recognizing everybody. So thank you very much.
Next, I would like to recognize some teachers that, in the process of helping them prepare for their All-State audition, also helped their ensembles at their schools prepare and perform at a superior level at the District 4 Band, Orchestra, and Chorus festivals in March. And then some of them also were able to perform at the state festivals at the end of April and the middle of May. Teachers work tirelessly to prepare their students for these festivals, and we consider district festival assessment to be like our high-stakes test for our middle and high school musicians. They perform for a panel of 3 judges who give them comments and critique and give them points to work on and also praise them for the things that they do well. And then once they perform their prepared pieces, they have to go into a sight reading room where they prepare, or they have like, what, 2-3 minutes to prepare something they've never seen before, and they have to perform it as an ensemble. And they also have that as part of their rating. So there is a lot that goes into preparing students for this event, and we want to recognize their superior performances. Ms. Kylie Oosterink, the director of the Leonardtown High School Chorus. She's also a first-year teacher, and she is a graduate of Leonardtown High School as well. Ms. Sarah Lorick, the director of the Chaptacon High School Choirs. Sorry.
This is the only job I have.
I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. Mr. Robert Matera, Great Mills High School Bands. Mr. Todd Burrows, Director, Chaptacon High School Bands. And Miss Abby Vanderwist, the director of the Spring Ridge Middle School and the Leonardtown Middle School String Orchestras, who also were able to perform at the state level and received superior ratings there as well.
Okay, so this is a group.
Yes.
Great, okay. This is really important. I've come to realize this is the job of the superintendent, is arranging people for photographs.
All right, I would also like to, you can skip this one. Okay, good job. Abby Vanderwest was invited by Calvert County Public Schools to guest conduct their all-county middle school string orchestra this year, and that is a huge compliment It's a huge honor to be asked to come to a sister county and to conduct their honor ensembles, so I wanted to take a moment to make sure that we recognized her for that. Okay, the next set of recognitions I'd like to do this evening recognize our visual arts students. We participate in Youth Art Month, which you probably have noticed artwork hanging throughout all the public buildings in St. Mary's County during the month of March. And we also, in conjunction with the Women's Club of St. Mary's, the Women's Club, the group that's here in St. Mary's County, we run a contest with them. And Miss Sue Gibbs is here from the Women's Club to also help me present these awards. But we'd like to recognize those students that were recognized at not only our county level, but then also went on to the district and even the state level to be recognized. They each have their artwork that they submitted, so if when they come up to the carpet, if you could pass by the Board of Ed's table so that they can see your artwork, they would very much appreciate that, I'm sure. Okay. All right. Do you want to stand on that side? Are you good there? We will start with Madison Griffin. She's from Margaret Brent Middle School, and she won 3rd place in our local competition for the Women's Club. So Madison, if you want to come on.
Very interesting. Very nice.
Okay. Okay. No, you stay. You stay. Okay.
This job is easy, it's not.
All right. Ainsley Streeter from Leonardtown Middle School. She won 2nd place in our local competition, and then she placed 3rd at the district level.
Wow. That is fantastic.
Straight line with everyone, I can't even do that.
Savannah Saunders from Leonardtown Middle School. She won 1st place in our local competition. Lillian Ray was an honorable mention in our local competition. And finally, we have Amanda Martin from Leonardtown Middle School. She was honorable mention in our local competition, and she won 2nd place in the district level.
Beautiful.
And one more thing that I want to say for Amanda, I don't know if she's aware of this yet, but at the time of print, we didn't have the state results yet, but we do have an award for her. She was awarded honorable mention at the state level, so we have a certificate and a ribbon for her for that as well. We had about 15 students that were recognized. Not all of them could be there tonight, but we want to congratulate these young ladies on their accomplishment.
This is a group of
Yes.
Are you staying there for the science
Oh, that's
fair?
right, sorry. I'm so. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, thank you very much. Our next recognition is for the St. Mary's County Science Fair, Mr. Jason Hayes, assisted by Mr. Scott Smith.
Much appreciated.
Good evening, Board of Ed, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Tonight, it is truly my pleasure to recognize those students that placed 1st, 2nd, or 3rd at the 67th Annual Prince George's County Science and Engineering Fair. Just a little backstory with this science fair. It's open to students from St. Mary's, Calvert, and Prince George's counties. And year after year, our students always shine. So tonight, we recognize those students. I'll start with the junior division. I'll call your name. Come up. Mr. Smith will present you with your certificate. In the category of animal sciences, first place winner, Adam Lindholm, with his project, Curious Crests. In the Earth and Planetary Science category, second place, Hannah Jarbo, Bipolar Migrations. In the Energy and Transportation category, first place out of 17 entries, Miss Savannah Jabbar, Wind Turbine Blades Efficacy. In the Engineering Materials Bioengineering category, first place out of 24 entries, Madison Marigliano, Go Tree Free. Environmental Management, second place, Alicia Lynn, Stop Fracking Earthquakes. In Mathematical Sciences, we brought home first place, Laura Picard, The Amelioration of 235 Signal Timing. In Microbiology, first place, Olivia Sawa, Dismiss with a Kiss. In Plant Sciences, we brought home second place out of 27 entries, Sam Wilson, Oh, But There's a Patch. In the junior division, we also had a grand award winner, second place, Mr. Adam Lindholm. Congratulations.
This is the group.
This is the group,
All
yes.
right, push in together. Mr. Hayes on the end. Good? Everybody? Congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, junior division winners. Congratulations. I will now recognize the senior division winners. In the animal sciences category, third place, Alexandra Myers, Stop Cracking Me Up. In the chemistry category, out of 18 entries, third place to our very own Miss Sarita Lee, Fancy Yet Fatal, Faux Pheromones. Energy and Transportation, we brought home first place, Mr. Michael Dalgetti, Generating Electricity from Radiation. Also in the energy transportation category, third place, Nicholas Tobler, reigning Sparks. Environmental Management category, second place, Allison Myers, Wind Turbines, The Deadly Truth. Also in Environmental Management, third place, Michael Van Riswick, Keeping the Bay in Mind. In Medicine and Health Sciences, we brought home first place, Roma Concaria, How Effective Are Suturing Techniques? In the Physics and Astronomy category, first place out of 16 total entries, Jonathan Yu, Blade Impact Localization. Also in the Physics Astronomy category, third place went to William Dietrich, Don't Judge Books by Their Covers. In the senior category, we also had a grand award winner, third place, Mr. Jonathan Yu. Because of that, he was able to compete in the International Intel Science and Engineering Fair, May 11th through 15th, up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he said he had a great time. It was a truly great experience. So congratulations to Jonathan.
Push in, make sure that we push in a little closer, We want to make sure we get Mr. Hayes in there. Very nice, very nice. Good looking group. A lot of science going on here. One line? Pretty good? Now get a crazy one. Congratulations all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so according to my agenda, we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that means 6:42.
6:42.
the board.
6:42.
I know.
Okay.
3.
Missed it by
30
a few
seconds.
seconds, not even that
All
much.
right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. In the back, we have Boy Scout troop. You guys want to come up and introduce yourselves? Please. You're sitting back there very quietly and stoic.
Good, Mike.
Oh, it is, I can hear it.
Ask and you shall receive. Look at that.
To the troop leader.
Thank you very much. This is the Boy Scout Troop 1846. We're here just observing. We have a communications merit badge requirement where we have to watch a public meeting and take
Okay.
notes and discuss the points of view and stuff like that. So happy to be here. We were here a couple of months ago for citizenship in the community. We had a great time, so decided to come back. Thank you.
Okay. What area of the county are you from?
Actually, we're from all over.
Are you?
Yeah, we're a church group. And,
Oh, okay.
we meet down in Great Mills area.
Oh, good.
So-
Okay.
Might you have the young men introduce themselves and
Absolutely.
tell us what grade they're in and where they go to school?
Sure.
My name is Ethan Singer. I'm in 7th grade at Spring Ridge Elementary, or middle.
I'm James Tripp, in grade 6 at Margaret Brent Middle School.
I'm Robert, and I homeschool at grade 6.
I'm James Taff. I go to Leonardtown Middle School.
I am Gavin O'Connell, Leonardtown Middle School.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much, and welcome for joining us this evening. You got to see some great recognition. You're going to have an opportunity to see how we conduct our business, so I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, public hearing, we have none. Public comment, do we have anyone sign up? All right. Hold on, I gotta read my form here.
Reading of the statement.
Okay. The board welcomes public input on policies and issues affecting our schools. The board takes this time to listen and consider, but not to comment. This is not, however, the appropriate forum for negative comments or criticisms of individual staff or students. Concerns about individual staff members that cannot be resolved at the level closest to the situation should be directed to the superintendent. This board will not permit comments criticizing the individual staff or students, since this is outside the scope of public comment. Additionally, the board sits as an appellate body in both student and employee appeals. The board cannot comment on or have prior knowledge of a case that would influence their ability to deliberate. To maintain the ability of the board to render a fair and unbiased decision, comments regarding individual student or personnel issues cannot be presented at public comment. Speakers must sign in at the beginning of the meeting. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and speakers may not yield their time to someone else. The board encourages speakers to present written statements to the board secretary, who will then distribute copies to all board members. And with that, Ms. Battle, who is our first comment?
Brian Flaminga.
Ladies and gentlemen and members of the board, I came here today to speak upon the senior prank that happened at my school. 6 seniors and 1 alumni were involved, and for years it has been a precedent that has been set at my school for seniors to do a prank. This year at my school, ladybugs were released, and I believe 1 student was unfairly, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Unfairly punished for what happened. He's unable to walk at graduation, and his family came from 3,000 miles away, and there's nothing he can do about it. He's like I said, he's the only one that can walk, and another student that same week got to play in his baseball game. And I can't walk at my high school graduation.
Thank you.
Hunter McFalls.
I cancel my motion.
That's all.
That's all? Okay. Okay, next is the consent agenda. Could I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next on action items, the first on the agenda is the contract award for the bleacher upgrades at Leonardtown High School.
Good evening. I'm here this evening seeking board approval for funds to perform upgrades to the bleachers, the exterior bleachers at Leonardtown High School. A little background information. The existing bleachers, the existing exterior grandstand bleachers were installed in 2002 during the addition to Leonardtown High School. The bleachers are inspected twice a year by our maintenance staff for rail, step, seating, frame, hardware, and general condition. The bleachers are also inspected annually by a certified contractor or a professional structural engineer. On May 2013, an inspection revealed that Leonardtown High School's bleachers were not in compliance with ICC code. This is International Code Council. The project to correct this was identified and included for approval in the 2014 Comprehensive Maintenance Plan, which was presented to the board in September of 2013, for inclusion in the FY15 operating budget, which we are currently in, and approved by the board on September 11, 2013. The bleacher upgrades, the alterations required to bring the bleachers into existence with existing bleacher code are summarized as follows. They install a seat, what they call a foot and a seat board, to prevent head passage of a 4-inch diameter sphere in the seating area, or some people better know it as head entrapment. And that would be, as you can see, this would be the installation of this board and to fill a gap here. Currently, you can see there is a surface there, but the gap at the end is missing. It would also be to install a barrier or stiffening devices to prevent passage of a 6-inch diameter sphere in the aisleways at the ends of the seating areas. This is the exterior end of the seating area, where you can see there's a hole created by the gap by the fence and the footboard. Unfortunately, that area won't allow a 6-inch diameter sphere to pass, but because the fence can move, it does allow a 6-inch diameter sphere to pass. Additionally, as part of the invitation to bid, alternates were presented to bring the bleachers up to new bleacher code. The work I just explained brings it up to existing. This work, the alternates, bringing it up to new bleacher code. Were included to bring the bleacher up to new codes. These alternates were alternate 1 and 2. Basically, alternate 1 was for the home bleachers, alternate 2 was for the visitor bleachers. And it was to widen the aisleways to bring them up to 48 inches wide, make small adjustments to ensure stair dimensional uniformity. What that means is, right now the steps are not a uniform distance apart, and people tend to base a level on one height and not look down for a new height, so to prevent tripping. The procurement was an invitation to bid as outlined in the board policy DJC. The project was advertised on April 21st, 2015 on eMaryland Marketplace. 95 contractors were invited to bid. 7 contractors purchased bid documents. Unfortunately, only one contractor responded as TJ Distributors. They happened to be in possession of the Baltimore County contract for bleacher inspections and bleacher repairs. The rest of the bidders didn't reply. I believe a lot of them are national companies, and the scope of the work wasn't large enough probably to attract them. So the alternate one to bring the home bleachers up was $18,220.
As everybody jumps to, Sandra wins the race. Congratulations, Ms. Babel.
Yeah, she had the outside advantage.
And Scott lost his water.
And I bought a big water bottle. I left it out in the foyer.
It is allergy season.
It's the problem.
To do the visitor bleachers, that was $9,470. For a total of $122,480. And I'm seeking the approval for the Board of Education to award this contract with alternates 1 and 2 to TJ Distributors Incorporated in the amount of $122,480. Wow. Sorry about the voice.
That's okay. All right. Ms. Lee, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Mrs. Weaver.
I hate to ask you to do this, but alternate 2 is which part?
The visitors' bleachers.
Okay.
Yeah, both alternates are, every code actually has an existing standard, and they have a new standard. So the alternates are to bring it up to the new standard.
Okay.
We're only required to bring it up to the existing standard, which would be the base amount of $94,790.
Okay, that's okay. Okay.
I got water and glasses.
Yeah. It's difficult aging, Mr.
Yes, it
Williams.
is.
Okay, but so what you're saying that like if we bring it up to code, but then in a year we might have to turn around and bring it up again.
Yeah.
So.
It's likely 2 years they'll make it part of the existing, but
Okay.
we'd have to wait to see what they do in another 2 years.
Okay.
My
Thank
only
you.
question, the other two high schools, Great Mills and Chaptacon, are they
Right
up
now,
to
they
code?
need the
So
same
they're
code.
good.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I apologize. All exterior bleachers, all interior bleachers are inspected with the same rigor that you saw in the first slide.
Okay.
Twice a year internally. Actually, there's a checklist that they do every time they operate them also. And then they're also checked annually by either a qualified contractor by code or a structural engineer.
Okay.
So yes, ma'am, they are.
Okay. All right. Mrs. Washington?
The safety of our students, staff, and visitors is important, and we want to make sure everyone's safe while they're having a good time. And also, you say this company has been used by other systems within the state of Maryland, so that's good. And other companies were national, and they didn't submit a bid, so it keeps the money in the state of Maryland. So this is good to do the existing code and the one that's coming in a couple of years. So you're going to do them both. So that'll be efficient to do it like this, because I'm sure in 2 years it'll cost more to do the other ones that you need to do. So thank you very much.
Not a problem.
So as I understand it, Chaptacon and Great Mills already meet the standard. It's only Leonardtown that did not at the
Yes,
present
ma'am.
time.
Yes, ma'am.
When will once this is approved, presumably, when will it start and how long will it take them to complete?
I should be able to give them a notice of award tomorrow or Wednesday, and they have 60 days from the time of award to complete.
So it will be completed by the time students come back and start
Yes.
practice for tryouts for the fall.
Yes, ma'am. The reason we waited this long into the fiscal year is trying to avoid all sports that are involved in the stadiums
Great.
as much as possible.
Very good. That's all my questions. Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Oh, I have none.
I know you don't, but.
Just saying.
Okay, can I have a motion, please, for the contract award for bleacher upgrades?
I move to approve that the Board of Education of St. Mary's County approves contract number St. Mary's County Public School 2015-06-DSS-DC for the bleacher upgrades at Leonardtown High School, including alternates 1 and 2 to TJ Distributors Incorporated in the amount of $122,480.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you very much. Next, we have Ms. Regina Greeley regarding materials of instruction at Captain Walter Francis Duke Elementary School.
Good evening, Mrs. Greeley.
Good evening, board members and Mr. Smith. This is going to be a presentation about the materials that have been chosen for Captain Walter Francis Duke Library Media Center. Wrong one, sorry. I know that, sorry. sorry.
Still muted. Next.
Okay. Library materials come in a variety of formats and support the curriculum standards and goals. As you're aware, the Maryland College and Career Readiness Standards require an analysis of informational text, digital resources, and fictional material in order to develop a student's ability to think critically and analyze information. Additionally, we do in the Media Center want to create lifelong readers. So I come before you with a review of the vendors for which Captain Walter Francis Duke School Media Center will purchase materials. These vendors were chosen because of the standards based on content and a variety of binding for the printed materials. So as far as books go, we're creating, we still use references. We have a World Book order that will go in. We have the Follett school systems, of which Follett is our online OPAC system, which is your online public access catalog. Bound to Stay Bound, which will be a majority of the fiction books because of their quality of binding, and they are the most popular books. Permabound, because they will replace, but also they have titles that aren't necessarily available from Follett or Bound to Stay Bound. And then Capstone is one of the new, easy to read. They tend to do high interest, low vocabulary, seeking the elementary students' attention. Then for digital resources, like we do throughout the county, we have to subscribe by building. So we're actually adding a building. Even though the students are being distributed, we still have to pay for a license for them, and they come from World Book. Permabound will have ebooks that we will subscribe to. You'll see there that we have the Destiny license and Title Peak, which is a title and an image that it gets attached to each book in the online catalog. Capstone has digital books too, which we will use. Discovery Education, of which you're familiar, our staff uses already. And then ProQuest, which is SIRS and Culturegram, as well as we will purchase some DVDs to support the content. And then, as I said, Follett, again, is one of the solutions we use for a lot of our supplies. And then the library media supplies will get a carpet and a little bit of signage and spine labels and all the office sundries. So I am asking if you will approve the use of multi-vendors for the purchase of school library materials for Captain Walter Francis Duke. And I think the one thing that's not on there is I am requesting a purchase of $30,000 to go towards a laptop cart that will be used for the library media classes, because all elementary schools have to have library media classes for every class, student as well. So. Any questions?
Ms. Lee?
Could you come back to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Weaver.
Okay. You were stating the Bound to Stay Bound books, you said they were high usage or high?
High usage, and they have the best quality binding. You can wipe the books off, and as a fiction book, the fiction books are the most highly read books in the system.
Are they the ones that are like, they're almost pebbled? Like?
Yes. Oh, very good. They are.
I have kids in elementary school, trust me, you want those.
Okay. Okay, I just didn't know what, like if they do they have a stronger?
Yes, it's like go ahead, you're the book expert. I can tell you from a parent
It's a
standpoint.
glued and bound, and they rebind. They buy the trade book and then rebind it in an enforced binding, which is sewn and glued and fused together.
Okay.
As we infrequently purchase books, and
Yes.
they last a very long time, we must make sure that we put a good investment up front.
Like for instance, when my son puts his in the jelly, I can wipe it off with a
There you
wet
go.
paper towel.
Okay, I just didn't
Okay.
know what this Bound to Stay Bound. I thought, I hope they're all bound to stay bound.
And
Okay,
I will
sorry.
tell you that if you want to hear a story of which you may not be familiar with, and Mr. Smith may not like my story, but when we
I
Now we have
Ms.
books.
Greeley, I love all your stories.
When we purchased books at Evergreen, when they had the issue with the air conditioning, Mrs. Washington, I remember, the school got extremely humid, and the books warped. And the Bound to Stay Bound books, all we had to do was literally stack them on top of each other, put a concrete brick on top of them, and they flattened out. Some of the other ones are probably still warped on the shelves. So that's another reason that Bound to Stay Bound is so popular.
Okay. And the laptop cart that you said that all the elementary schools, the libraries have,
Not that all elementary library schools, it's now a part of, because information literacy is a part of the library media curriculum, K through 5. I'm requesting to use library media money so that those laptops and or whatever we end up purchasing with that 30,000 will be available in the media center at all times and not be in that 3-to-1 ratio.
Now, in doing that, did you and Mr. Howard talk about when you came before us before with the carts?
We don't have a valid laptop.
Mr. Howard, we can't hear you unless you're behind that microphone.
Okay.
I don't need to remind you that. You're the technology director.
Ms. Greeley and myself have talked about this. I think she's going to use some of her operating budget she's proposing. I'll work with finance on getting one off of one of our contract vehicles. Presently, the contract we awarded for the Lenovo laptops is expired, so we'll have to work with finance on securing a new quote that we can purchase.
Okay, but you're working with Mr. Howard to find the best.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It will be whatever the decision is, and I've talked to Mr. Hartwick about it also when I toured the library, which is really nice if you haven't been over there.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we have somebody that is knowledgeable in that area that's helping pick
We
out.
buy no technology that does not go through
Okay.
and is off the bid, so.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, I have one question. When you're talking about the electronic with the seat, you're buying a new site for
Yes.
the, okay.
Yes.
Does that, you just buy by site, or are there seats that are associated with that? Do you know what I mean?
To set up, we have to set it up by schools.
Okay.
And then the student pricing is based upon the MDK-12, which is the Maryland state pricing
Okay.
for the state.
Okay.
By each vendor that we
Okay.
use. And all I'm doing is sharing the load with establishing Duke as one of our schools.
Okay.
So piggybacking on that, since those students will be relocated from other existing schools, will the cost for those schools go down by virtue of the fact
Yes.
that the students are moving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Some of the money, Discovery probably has the highest price, as you can see. And that's nothing we can do about that one.
Okay.
They are not a part of the MDK-12 consortium.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Washington.
I clearly understand the importance of the bound to stay bound books because I'm sure some of those same books from the 80s are still in the media center. So what is the life expectancy on these bound to stay bound books?
I would say probably more than 25 years. I off the top of my head, I can't tell you because I do know when I go back to Banneker and I know books that I purchased. And I have always been a fan of longevity for fiction books that are popular and frequently read, let's say, noted authors and illustrators, and especially in Everybody books, the illustrators are extremely critical. It's all about the binding.
It is. It is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have anything else?
Nope, I'm fine.
Mrs. Allen?
The 30,000 for the laptop cart, is that just for the cart or is that for the?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's the cart, the charging cart, as well as the laptops.
That's
It's
what
for some type of computer device that can be used in the media
So it's
center.
the cart and the electronics, not
Yes.
just a cart costing $30,000. Got it.
Yes.
I just by virtue of the way that it's notated in here, I wanted to make sure
Okay.
that I
Sorry.
understood. The media and library materials that you're proposing, are they comparable to our other elementary schools?
Absolutely. The list was actually built off of the Evergreen because I'm trying to standardize what we do. Of course, the titles have changed because we've gotten more newer books, and we also look at what's recommended as well as what's popular because I don't want books, especially fiction books, that aren't going to be read.
Right.
So that is a section of books that we frequently review.
And that was my other question is there a master list or is there some sort of standardized list that is circulated amongst schools, so as they're looking to buy new or to replace books?
School Library Journal is one of the best known. It's from the association, the American Association of School Libraries, and has lots of recommendations, as well as I actually this year put out a Google Doc that said, if you were opening a library, what would be the top books you would recommend? So the schools have also recommended this time titles.
As we have over time standardized the back-to-school list, I was interested to know if we had anything that was comparable for this kind of thing.
We stick with the award books, the Newbery Award, the Caldecott Award, I'm going blank, there's 6 main awards. Coretta Scott King's list, I've gone blank.
It's all right.
But anyway, so the award books too, although with the Newbery books, we're not going back into the 20s. We still have some folks who keep them on their shelves, but they're not circulated. And so I set the date at about 1985 was the earliest for Newbery, unless I knew it was a title that I really liked and then I threw it in. There are some classics people should read.
There are always classics. Thank you very much. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Oh, yes. So will this purchase cover all of the books for the new elementary school? Like, will there need to be any more additional books brought in?
Oh.
Or is it...
You can never have enough books.
Oh, right.
What
Okay.
what we're looking at though is you'll notice that Evergreen did not have, and that was the ebooks. And so we're moving towards the digital library. However, we do know that not everybody has access to digital devices. But when we purchase ebooks, we are looking for whole school access so that it's not a limited one-to-one, which happens a lot of times to read it in the high schools because of the cost of the books. Publishers still want to gain money and a profit. So we are going to look at titles that are informational texts that will align to the Common Core, Maryland College and Career Ready standards, as well as popular fiction titles. Hopefully many with the digital,
Thank you.
full digital access.
Anything else?
Just, Ms. Greeley, it is all about the binding.
It's all, I wish I could.
It's all about the binding, and truly, the media centers and libraries are those things that bring us all together.
That's right.
And a great, deep appreciation for the written word, be it in any piece of paper, or, it is the written word. So thank you to you, thank you to our incredible media specialists. When you look at this list, their jobs are incredibly complex, and they navigate many, many things to instill a great passion for reading in our kids, and that's an incredibly important element of our school system. So
As well
thank
as
you.
supporting the classroom.
Supporting the classroom and digital literacy and all those other things.
That's right.
So saith the English major.
So saith the English major, who's making more English majors. So
Yes.
let us go forth and
Thank you,
conquer,
sir.
at least write about it.
All right, thank you very much. I know this was, we moved you around a little bit on the agenda, so I do appreciate it, so. Okay, I would like a motion, and during this motion, we probably need to reference, since all of the total is not in the recommended action, we at least need to reference the vendors or dollar amount, yes? Or just the
Because this is
authorize
an
the purchase.
approximate.
Right. They don't have a hard and fast total.
Well,
Can we say it's listed?
it's, as presented.
Yeah,
That's
presented,
fine, as long as it's
listed.
referenced within the board docs that is public.
does
That's all, that's what
Right.
I'm
Right.
asking for within the motion, whoever's going to make that motion. Are you with
Okay.
me?
I-
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to do it? Do you want me to-
Mary.
Yeah. I move that the Board of Education approve the purchase of books and materials for the Media Center at Captain Walter Francis Duke Elementary School as presented.
Great, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Tammy McCourt, for the approval of the negotiated agreement for St. Mary's County, or St. Mary's Association of Supervisors and Administrators for FY 2016 and FY 2017.
I always feel like we should fill this space. Good evening, Ms. McCord. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Smith. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Just waiting for the projector
Good
to warm
evening,
up.
board members.
Good evening.
So we have before you this evening St. Mary's Association of Supervisors and Administrators contract for your approval for both fiscal year 2016 and 2017. In the words of Mr. Jaffers, SMASA overwhelmingly ratified this agreement. Representing the negotiations team for SMASA, we thank Mr. Dan Besick, the MSEA Chief Negotiator, Mr. Alex Jaffers, SMASA President, Mr. Jamie Copsey, Ms. Rhonda Harris, and Ms. Kim Summers. On behalf of SMCPS, myself, Mr. Brad Clements, Mr. Dale Farrell, and Ms. Darlene Austin as Recording Secretary. Before going into the contract changes, I'd like to just take a moment to thank both the teams for engaging in a very productive and collaborative interest-based bargaining. With respect to the contract changes for the salary article for 2016, we've agreed to 2 retroactive steps for fiscal 2014 and 15, which will be provided effective the first pay period of the fiscal year 2016 for those eligible. Eligibility for the 2014 step requires a hire date prior to March 1st, 2013, and eligibility for the 2015 retroactive step increase requires a hire date prior to March 1st, 2014. Also agreed were 2 step increases for fiscal 2017. One was retroactive for fiscal 2016 and one for 2017, effective the first pay period of the fiscal year 2017 for those eligible. And eligibility for the 2016 step requires a hire date prior to March 1st, 2015, and eligibility for the 2015 requires a hire date prior to March 1st, 2016. Additional contract changes include those for health insurance. Effective July 1st, 2015, there were no changes proposed for HMO or triple option health insurance plans. Effective January 1st, 2016, an implementation of Formulary 2 pharmaceuticals. And effective July 1st of 2016, which would be fiscal 2017, prescription copay changes to $10.15 for non-maintenance copay, $10.15 maintenance copay for mail order or CVS for a 90-day supply, and $20.30 maintenance copay if purchased at any other retail pharmacy other than CVS for a 90-day supply. Additional contract changes for health insurance include effective July 1st, 2016, offering HMO and triple option deductible plan options. So the HMO with deductible plan would be a 90% coverage by the board. HMO without the deductible would change from 90% coverage to 85% coverage. For the triple option plan with the deductible would be offered at 80% coverage by the board, and the triple option plan at 75%, which was previously at 85%, and those are for the full-time employees. Additionally, we offered, effective July 1st, 2016, for FY17, if a healthcare rebate is recognized in fiscal 2016 from the prior fiscal year settlement, that settlement being from 2015, for employees or retirees enrolled in one of 2 deductible plans, funding will be applied to an HRA account for the out-of-pocket max associated with $100 for individuals and $200 for family if all the SMCPS bargaining units elect to accept the identical health care plan changes for fiscal 2016 and 2017. And the HRA credits would be usable for the employees for fiscal 2017 only. They don't roll forward, and they're prorated for any new employees to SMCPS or terminate at the time of separation of employment. In the event that all the SMCPS bargaining units do not elect to accept identical health care plans for fiscal 2016 and 17, the remainder of the health care and salary articles would stand. There's also included a budgetary clause. If due to budgetary constraints, 2 steps cannot be provided in FY17 as presented, then the steps in healthcare will remain at the same as the end of fiscal 2016. Within the leave article, we allowed for, within the sick leave bank, a sick leave exchange programs for employees who have joined the sick leave bank. For nursing mothers, we've allowed for the providing of coverage to allow for breast pumping for up to 15 minutes once per day during the first year following the birth of the child. And within the annual leave article, effective July 1st of 2017 for fiscal 2018, we allowed for the accumulation and sellback of annual leave for 12-month employees beyond 50 days. So it allows for the sale of up to 3 days. And this previously was a 55-day accumulation. That concludes all the contractual changes. Are there any questions?
Ms. Lee?
No questions, thank you.
Mrs. Weaver?
I want to thank both sides for all the hard work in coming to an agreement, and thank you, Mr. Clements and Ms. McCourt, for keeping the board up to date. Every time you came in, you let us know what was going on. Thank you very much on that. And no questions.
Mrs. Washington?
I also wanted to thank both teams for the hard work that they have done to make this a reality. It wasn't easy, I'm sure, and there were hours and hours of meetings to make this happen. So thank you very much for all that you have done and all that you do for the school system.
Mrs. Allen?
I would echo that, and I'm just really pleased that the commissioners have made it possible for us in the funding that they're providing for us to be able to bring our employees up to where they should be, the steps. That's been something that has been difficult for the board for quite some time. And so thank you for working through all of this and making this possible.
Yes, thank you. I echo everything. I mean, great job with everyone. I know it was a lot of work. So, and I agree with Mrs. Weaver. I mean, the updates that you guys provided us were great. Kept us informed the whole time, and the summary is good as well. So thank you very much. So, okay, time for another motion, guys.
I move that the Board of Education approve the recommendation of the interim superintendent, which is to approve the FY 2016 and FY 2017 negotiated agreement between the St. Mary's Association of Supervisors and Administrators and the Board of Education of St. Mary's County.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. So now if I can invite both teams up to the table for the formal signing.
That's fine.
Thanks.
You gotta go see.
Oh, I did.
Yes, you did.
What in the world?
Yeah, at least it's not a crown.
I love it.
We did it before.
Yep.
So, ladies.
Come up and join them as they sign the lovely document.
Are we joining?
Yep.
All right, I did not want my picture taken today. I didn't want my picture today.
No one ever does. I see. Well, hey, let's have you two. Let's have you come back and sit. We have the entire board, the entire team, and all. Your team on that side. I'll get the other side. We'll get to this side. We'll all push in together. Look at that. Now we'll get a really good. Let's.
Got it.
Everybody step up into the space, right? So we don't have blank space behind there. Look at that. This is a full-time job. All right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's used to it. All right. That was that? Thank you.
I forgot to do my last little bit here.
I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm doing well. I love your travel thing. Okay, and with that, our next regular board meeting will be on Wednesday, June 10th at 8 a.m. We are adjourned.